Beis Daf is Daf Nun Aleph. We'll start here on the bottom of Nunam at Beis. Yomi de Machayef Be Rebbe, Asya Purnoso Lialma. There was a day in which Rebbe was smiling, and it brought perennials to the world. And the reason for this, because it's on the day that Rebbe smiled, is as Rosh Golas Yisrael, he should have been mitzvah on the Churban based on Mikdash. But since he was very wealthy, when he laughed, it looked as if he wasn't mitzvah. And the Marsha adds that Rebbe was a Bal Yisurim, he suffered a lot. As the Gemara says about Metzia Daf Pei. And therefore, all the years that Rebbe suffered, there was no need for rain. Bar Kapara, he knew about that, but he felt that through the Simcha of Rebbe, the Rebbe would be Zocher to Olam Haba. Or maybe Bar Kapara himself would be Zocher to Olam Haba. In any event, Amalei, Rebbe said to Bar Kapara, Lo tivadichan, don't tell me any jokes. And as a result, I'm going to pay you Arboin Grive Chite, 400 measures of Chitim. That's apparently a massive amount. And Amalei Bar Kapar responded to Rebbe, Lichse Mar, may my master see, and here we're going to start today's Daf Nun Aleph, the Chol Griva de Be'ina Shekilna, that every measure that I want to get, I'll take. And Shakal, Dikula Rabo. Bar Kapar took a massive amount in a big basket, Chafye Kufra, and he layered the outside of this Dikula, this Sal Gadol, with Kufra, with Zephes, with plastic, with a covering. The Sachve El Reish, and he turned it upside down. The Ozal V'Omerle, and he said to Rebbe, Lichi Li Mar, and may my master measure out for me Arbon Kvire Chiti Darshina Bach. You owe me 40 midos of chitim, and at that point, Achuch Rebbe laughed. The Omar Le Bar Kapar said, La Mazhartoch Gelobad Finon. Rebbe says to Bar Kapar, didn't I warn you that you shouldn't make any jokes? And then I'll pay you the chitim. But you made a joke. And as a result, I don't owe you any chitim. Omar Le Bar Kapar responded to Rebbe, I didn't come to take chitim that you promised me as reward for not making you laugh, but Titi Darashina Konasevna. There were other chitim that I lent you at some other point, and I came to collect them. Amalei Bar Kapara Barte the Rebbe. Here's a story in which Bar Kapara addresses the daughter of Rebbe Lamachar. He says to her, tomorrow, Shatina Chamra Rikuda Davuch. I'll be drinking wine while I dance with your father, meaning Rebbe, or maybe your father, Rebbe, would dance in front of me. And your mother will also play music in front of me. So now the Gemara says, how did this actually come to be? Ben Losa Chasne de Rebbe Havi. Rebbe's son-in-law was a rich man by the name of El Osa. The Osher Godel Hava Azmane Lebehilula the Rebbe Shimbar the Rebbe. Rebbe invited him to the wedding of his son, Rebbe Shimon. Amalei Bar Kapola Rebbe. During the wedding, Bar Kapar addresses Rebbe, my To'eva. What does the word To'eva mean? In Vayikra Chaf, in the parsha of Mishkav Zohar, it says To'eva. Now, the word To'eva appears in a number of different parshios, For example, for Avodah Zarah, it says Toeva. But nevertheless, with regard to Arayas, it only says the word Toeva in context of Mishkav Zachor. So what is the meaning of the word Toeva? Kol Diamalei Rebbe, the Hachinu Toeva, Parcha Bar Kapar. Whatever answer Rebbe offered to explain the word Toeva, Bar Kapar rejected it. Amalei, so Rebbe says to Bar Kapar, Parisha, so you tell me what the word Toeva means with regard to Mishkav Zachor. Amalei, Bar Kapar says to Rebbe, I'll explain it to you, but under the following conditions. Pesei Devidche, Vitirmeli Natlo. I'm asking that your wife pour me a small cup. Osas, his wife came, Ramule, and she poured a cup for Bar Kapara. Amalei, Bar Kapara says to Rebbe, if you want me to explain to you Toeva, Kum Rekodli, I want you to dance in front of me. The Emer Lecha, and then I'll tell you why the Torah chooses the word Toeva. Hachiyam Rachmana. Toeva is no trikun for Toeh Ata Ba. Ba means Bebia Zu. You're making a mistake. You are circumventing or omitting Mishkavei Isha, the normal way of having a relationship, and instead you go to Mishkav Zochar. That's not Darko Bakach. So that's called Toeh Ata Ba. Fine. Now let's just see what were the what did he tell Barte the Rebbe? Uvikirkane de Imach. Now I don't know exactly how that got fulfilled. Let's just see if there's anything here. So if you look at the Mefarish, he says that Kirkane the Imach means Shetimzo Logas Hakos, that she should pour the cup. That makes more sense. Lakas Achrina, in order to receive another kos, Amal Lebar Kapar says to Rebbe, my Teva, in the Parsha Vayikra Yudches, with regard to Isha Nirvas B'fnei Behema, it says Tevel. What is the word Tevel? Amaleki and Yonah Kadma. And again, Rebbe told him, like similar to what he said earlier, and he gave his commentaries. Bar Kapar rejected it. Amaleso Bar Kapar says to Rebbe, when Rebbe wants to know finally what is the word Tevel here, Ividli, do for me what you did before, a second time, dance in front of me, and your wife should pour me a cup. The Omar Loch, and then I'll tell you why the Torah choose the word Tevel. Amen. So Rebbe did it. Amalei Bar Kapar said, Tevel who? Question mark. Lashon Tmiya. And what is the word Tevel? Tavlin Yeshba. Does it have a special time? This relationship with the same gender. Mi Shanya Hadab Bia Min Kulam Bios. Does this Bia of a behemo with a woman, is it different than a Bia of a man that a woman would want to have a relationship with an animal, sodomy? So that's Tavlin Yeshba. Amalei Bar Kapar says to Rebbe, Umay Zima. Why does the Torah choose the word Zima to explain Znus? Let's say Nar Murasa Shezinsa. He says here, Isho Bita, it says Lo Segalas Basman, etc., etc. Zima who Isha Ve'ima, fine. And then Al Tachal Bitcha, Es Bitcha Las Nosa. Amalei Iavid Ki and Yonah Kadma, the same thing happens. Avad Rebbe does it. The Amalei, what is Zima Zomahi? Klomar, She'eno of Yodea Mimi Isha Zu Hit Avram. Right? Because we're not going to be able to identify the father of the child in all these cases of znut. So Yaakov ben Allah in his faith. Belasa, the son-in-law of Rebbe, couldn't tolerate this. He's going to walk out in objection because this is a zilzal that Bar Kapara is being mezalzel in Rebbe. Come v'nofak hu ve'intate. He and his wife got up and walked out. He taman from the chassid. Gemara asked, "My ben Elasa, how did he get wealthy? Desanya lo lechinam pizer ben Elasa es ma'osa elaharos bahen tisporish shel kohen gadol." So we're asking, "My ben Elasa," meaning how do we know that ben Elasa was wealthy? And the Brisa records that Ben Elasa had a tremendous desire to see and that someone should demonstrate in front of him the tisporus of a Kohen Gadol. He paid massive amount for a professional barber to demonstrate a tisporus of a Kohen Gadol. And the Gemara explains that tisporus of Kohen Gadol, which Ben Elasa was so eager to spend money to see it, that Siv Yechezkel Navi reports that the tisporus of Kohen Gadol was Kasom Yichsemu Es Rasheim. And the Gemara is going to explain what is Kasom Yichsemu. Tana, we learned in the Brisa, Ke'en Lul Yonis, like the famous Lulanis haircut. My Lulanios. What is that haircut? Rabbi Yehuda, Tisparta Yechidasa. It's an absolutely beautiful haircut, very special. Hechidami. And what does it look like? Omar Rava Roshel Seir Zeh B'tzad Ikro Shel Seir Zeh. So each hair reached the root of the next hair. Behind it is Tisporus Shel Kohen Gadol. And Rava says that was the Tisporus, the haircut of the Kohen Gadol. And the Ben Ish Chai says that this was a remez to the Kohen Gadol, that should be an onov and a shafel, that he should remember that his ikar ba miyad yashpil. And that's in the head, because that's where he should be misboning barosho minayin ikro ba. The yashpil is atzmi. L'fisha ikar kaparas Yisrael hi al yidei ma'aseh Kohen Gadol tzarich sheyeh Kohen Gadol ma'aseh v'tzuyim b'yosef tofios ono b'yosef. So there was a metaphoric message that underlined this tisporus. And you can imagine that each hair was large enough only to reach the follicle, the ikar of the next hair. It's an amazing kind of haircut. Now the Mishnah back on Daf Mem Tes establishes that konom tavshil sheni toem is allowed to eat beitza turmita, and dlas remutza. My dlas remutza, and the Gemara now reports about a machlokas, what is dlas remutza. Omar Shmuel, according to Shmuel, Kara karkuzoi. It's a pumpkin, very large pumpkin, that's called karkuzah. So when a person takes a Nedarim tavshil, he's allowed to eat it because we olam eina mispashelos legamri. We don't cook it fully; it's not fully cooked, and if it's not called a tavshil, tavshil means fully cooked. According to the Meiri, eina ru'il olafis b'asapas, so it's not called tavshil. Rav Ashi Omar, he has a different interpretation of Dalas Remuta. Dalas Hatmuna Meremitz. It was a pumpkin that was placed into hot ashes. And that's not called a tabshil, it's not cooked. Eisvei Ravina Rav Ashi. Rav Ashi, you define Dalas Ramutza as Tmuna Beremetz. Rabbi Nechemia Omer Dalas Aramisi, Dalas HaMitzvahs. If you take a Dalas Aramis and you mix it, you plant it together with Yavanis, then Kilayim and Yavanis. You can't plant two seeds from different minim together. And so too Kilayim im Haramutza. If you plant a mitzvahs, a glass mitzvahs with a glass ramutza, that's also called Kilayim. So that's against Rav Ashi, because Rav Ashi said ramutza is just the way you prepare it, and it's not dabshil because it's Eifrakam. But according to Shmuel, it works out beautifully because this is a special kind of dalas. It grows differently, it has a different name. And therefore, when you mix it together with, let's say, dalas haramis or dalas mitzvahs, then it becomes kilayim, and the Gemara ends with Yud. The Mishnah establishes, Hanoda mimasa kidera, ein osur el mimasa resachta. If he takes a neder from enjoining himself from Maisa Kidera, then he doesn't include in that neder Maisa Resachta. That means something that requires a long amount of bishul. That's not called Maisa Kidera. Omar Konam Hayorei L'Kidera Sheni Toim. But if he takes a more general formulation of a neder, anything that goes into the pot, then os b'chol anasa b'kedera, everything is considered. So just 1 second, let me go back. Hanoder mimaisa kedera eno osur ela mimaisa resachta. So maisa kedera means that which requires a great deal of bishul and resicha. But if he takes a konam hayored l'kedera, then even something that was made in a pot, but it doesn't need a long process of bishul and resicha. And that's because he took this general konam of hayored l'kedera. Now we get to the Gemara. Tanya, we looked at a brayso. Hanodim and hayored l'kedera. Asur b'yored le'ilfas, he includes in his neder even a tavshil that comes from like a frying pan. Shekvar yored l'kedera kodem sheyored le'ilfas. Before you put it into the frying pan, you first boil it. He writes here, shalifnei shemavashlim be'ilfas. So we heat it up for a short period of time in a pot, and then we place it into the ilfis. But if he took a neder and he said mina yored le'ilfis, then mutter be yored l'kedera. And that which is cooked in a pot is mutter because he only took a limited amount of a neder and joining himself from ilfis. If he takes a neder in a nasa b'kedera, mutter b'nasa b'ilfis. So now he said, instead of saying min hayorei l'kedera, he said min hanasa b'kedera. So nasa, the word nasa that he adds here means gemara asiyah. If the gemara asiyah was in an ilfis and not in a kedera, then that's not included in nasa b'kedera. Even though, again, the process may have began in which he heated it up in a kedera before he finished the cooking process of the ilfis, it's still mutter because nasa b'kedera means the gemara asiyah. The gemara asiyah here in this case was with ilfis, that's not included in a Gemara C in Kedera. And if he takes a neder min anasa be'ilfis, that means the Gemara Bishul took place in an ilfis, then mutter b'nasa be'kedera. Then something which was cooked in a pot and its complete cooking and preparation was in a kedera, that's not included in hanasa be'ilfis. Anodim and a yored letanur, that which we take out of an oven, also el pas. In other words, other things that are baked in an oven are mutter because yored letanur refers to lechem. But the Oma called Masechet alai, anything that was prepared in the oven, is also b'chol anasim b'tanur. It includes not just bread, but anything that was prepared in the oven.